everybody, it's Brooke again. This is part 2 of the Better Than Nothing mask. We're going to sew some seams now. Where we left off last time was, and my sewing machine is right here because Nom Nom is right there and he's going to do close-ups of how it looks being sewn so that really if you are a non-sewer you can follow right along, I promise. Where we left off last time was cutting out our fabric. So we have 3 different pieces cut out. We have the filter pocket, we have the outside fabric, which is the pretty fabric, and we have our lining fabric, which is the pretty but different than the outside fabric. So you take those pieces, and what we're going to do is take your filter pocket piece, which is the shortest this direction. Okay, so the lining is a little bit longer, outer pocket's a little longer. We'll set these aside for right now. With your filter pocket piece, okay, this is the center seam. It's counterintuitive, but this is going to be the center seam. So we want to finish off the edges so filters can go in and out without getting frayed. So your fabric is sitting pretty side together. Open it out, and what you're going to do is called finger pressing. So take the straight edge. This is how it looks. With the pretty side facing you, take this straight edge and finger press it back about 1/4 inch. Does not have to be exact. Just smoosh it down a little bit with your finger. And you're going to do that on both pieces. Because Nom is holding the camera or the phone in his hand, we're going to try to move this along. So finger press that, and we're going to take it over to the machine. And I've got, the only thing different that I'm doing right now is I've got some crazy colored thread in my machine so that you could see it better. If all you have is crazy colored thread, knock yourself out. I generally sort of match the thread to the fabric, but it's not a big deal. So I'm going to put my presser foot down, and I am just going to run a straight line all the way down to keep that folded piece in place. And that is that. Off we go. Do a little back stitch, and sew. Oh, and get stuck. Yes, it happens. So raise the needle. See if you can straighten it out. If you can't, then pull it out and start again. Oh, it's mad. Okay, this is good. So if it gets jammed up, don't worry about it. Take it out. Snip off those threads. Put your threads back where they belong. And I'm just going to start down a little bit further so it has some fabric to grab. Off we go. Do some back stitching. Not the prettiest job, but you know what? We are in Fast and Furious mode right now. Oh, that's so not straight. Shame on me. Little back stitch. Again, Fast and Furious mode. We need to get these out. We need to get them out fast. And so, you know what, guys? I can live with that. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, my goodness. I told Mark he only had to film 1, but hold, please. Can you pause for a second, Marky? Be right back. Hey, guys, it's Brooke. I'm back. Well, we had a technical difficulty, which would be that I forgot to turn on the camera or something. So I filmed everything and realized the camera wasn't on. So if I missed something, it's because I thought I already did it. Just let me know. I know you will, and we can go back over it. Where I fell down the hole, so to speak, was we had cut out all of our pattern pieces. That is video number 1, and it'll be linked down below. Getting your pattern, washing and drying your fabric, cutting out your pattern pieces. With our filter pocket, it's the shortest piece this direction. That's this guy. In the last video, we left off, I'm pretty sure, with finishing our straight edges. Mine, I did a terrible job on, and so this is a whole new setup because, well, I finished the other mask while not recording. So we just folded the edge in about 1/4 inch, so, and ran a straight seam right down that straight edge. Okay, we did that on both of our mask pieces, or our filter pocket pieces, I'm sorry. Okay, so those are our filter pockets. Now, Next step is we are going to put all of our fabrics, the matching pattern pieces, we're going to put pretty sides together. And I've got Nom Nom right here again, and he's going to film up close on the sewing machine for the first seam or two to show you what I'm talking about. Let me get the pattern pieces out of the way. So this is how we cut out the pretty piece for the mask. Right sides are together, and we're just going to pin. We're pinning the curved edge. Do not sew over your, oh, you know what? Actually, I like to sew it this way. It doesn't matter. Just pin that curved edge together. If you didn't cut it out perfectly straight, it's no big deal. It'll be just fine. Throw a couple pins in there to hold it. Do the same with our filter pocket. This is the curved edge, and I've got the right sides together. Wow, I can't talk. Probably watch what I'm doing rather than what I'm saying. It might work out better for you. Okay. And again, I have sewn for a while, so if I leave something out or you don't understand something, please send me an email. The link is down below. Shoot me an email with a question, and we will get you taken care of. Now this is our mask lining. Again, right sides together. Easier said than done. I just put lotion on my hands, everything's sticking. I'm just going to throw a couple pins in there. Okay. And that's going through 2 layers of fabric. Ouch. And then you stab yourself and say ouch. And if you're not recording, you might swear really loudly. So again, this is the only thing I'm doing differently for the video. I've got crazy colored thread in there because I think you'll be able to see it better. So I'm going to start sewing. I'm going to sew this seam, and I'm using a straight stitch. I'm going to sew, back stitch a little bit, sew all the way down, back stitch a little bit, boom, that's it. About 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is a seam allowance is from the cut edge to where the stitches run. It's about 1/4 inch, close enough. Get where you can. So I'm going to slide this under my presser foot, and I'm not going to start sewing right up here at the very point. I'm going to start down a little bit just so I don't jam my fabric in there again, which we had a problem with yesterday. And I'm going to try to talk and sew. I can't do that. We know that. So I'm going to go back with a back stitch, and then go whizzing along. Do not sew over your pin. You'll be sad. You could break the pin, break your needle, bend the pin, just all sorts of chaos could ensue. Oh, and I think my sewing machine is sitting on something. I better address that when we get this seam done. So I'm just stopping and pulling out my pin, kind of holding the fabric in place with my finger down here so it doesn't try to escape. Finishing that up, doing a couple back stitches. Once again, I just went totally off the rails and it's kind of crooked. If I were sewing clothing, I would go back and fix that. But we are now in the phase of quick and dirty, doing these masks as quickly as we can, and so that will be just fine. You can see that that is not a great seam. The seam allowance is crooked. It's okay. So now I'm going to take my outside mask piece and do exactly the same thing. This is the pretty Tim Holtz fabric, right sides together, pinned on the curved edge, and I'm going to go right over to the sewing machine and do exactly the same thing. Catch it under the presser foot, go straight, do a couple back stitches, have my stomach growl really loudly. I wonder if you can hear that. That would be hysterical. Sorry. If you can, my apologies. Must be almost snack time. When is it not snack time? Get that pin out of the way. And I do put my pins right back on the pin holder because I will lose them on the floor if I don't. Little back stitch, and out it comes. And again, a little crooked on that seam there, Brooke. Nope, can't talk and sew at the same time. Okay, so that's a little bigger than I'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and trim it down. Just barely. Just barely trim it. Alright, Marky, I think we're good on the sewing up close in this video, so you can rest your arms now. Thank you, honey. All right, just a little bit of a cut. Don't even have to do that. It will just make this curve fold a little more smoothly. And the last one that we have to do, this is our filter pocket. Exactly the same thing. I'm just going to go to the machine and sew this curve. And what we are doing is sewing the center front seam, and I'll show you that in a minute. Mark's not going to record this part because it gets hard holding the phone. It's heavy. He's got a big super case on it, so it weighs like 20 pounds. Okay, so I'm doing exactly the same thing on the filter pocket. I am straight stitching, back stitching, straight stitching, right along that outside curve. I'm going to slow down when I'm going around the real curved part. Take out my pin. I'm going to just peek at these edges. The edges look a little not even, so I'm just adjusting a little bit. It's all fine. Again, if Vanity Fair calls and wants us to make masks for the runway, we're going to have to get a little more careful. But for our purposes, this is just fine. And so here you can see I'm just pulling that right out of the machine. Fabulously straight. No, it's not. It's okay. It was sewn crooked. It was cut a little crooked. It's going to be great. Okay, so now what we have at this point are our filter pocket. Our filter pocket has the edges finished and the center seam sewn. So when you turn it to the right side, this is what you have. And see what that center seam does? With that curve, it's giving you a little bit of a pocket for your snout. That's a good thing. Okay, so that is our filter pocket. This is our outside pretty fabric. Tim Holtz, yes, I've got to say that every chance I get. Just that way. And that. So this is the front of the mask, and I think you can see the shape pretty well. So it'll kind of contour over a nose and a chin. And these are the side flaps. That's the outside piece. And then this is the lining piece. Same exact thing, just a little shorter on the ends. So the lining will go in here, right? And we're going to make some, oops, that was too high. Sorry, guys. And we'll make some casings on the side. And this will have its little filter pocket. The masks we are sending out, for the most part, do not have filters coming with them. I was not able to get filter material. So, masks, filter pocket, work on that filter thing. I'm sorry, I couldn't be more help. So that's where we're going with it, and that's what we just did with our center seams. I am going to do these in smaller videos so that if I've messed it up, I won't be so sad. So we're going to stop there for right now, and I recommend that you go over to your iron if you feel so inclined and press these closed, just like, you know, sort of set the stitches you just sewed. And then we're going to make a sandwich of all three pieces, and we're going to sew the top and bottom seams to get the shape of our mask. I will be back in video number 3 before too long. Video number 1 will be linked down below, I hope. And if you have any questions, again, my email is in the description. Send me your messages. If you need a couple masks, send me a message. And I really appreciate you guys taking your time to hang out with me for a minute for making a better than nothing mask. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.